Hey everyone, Jim Yort here. Today we're going to be talking about procrastination. Now there are a couple of common ways of making sense of procrastination. One is that it's a loss of focus on the thing that you really want to do and instead prioritizing your focus on something else, even if that something else is just sitting around doing nothing. Now in my next video I'm going to be talking more about how to maintain and increase focus, so you might want to check that one out too. But procrastination can also be seen as a form of self-sabotage, when you have some kind of underlying doubt about whether you're good enough at this thing that you're trying to do. But today I wanted to offer a new and fresh perspective on procrastination that I came across in this study from 2015 by some Canadian researchers. I'll put a link to the study down below in case you're interested. But what they found is that people who procrastinated the most were the ones who had difficulty connecting their present self to their future self. In other words, when you think about your future you, if you can't identify with that person, if you can't feel a sense of continuity between who you are now and who you'll be in the future, and instead that person feels like someone that's separate from you, then you'll be more likely to procrastinate. Now this makes sense because a lot of times when we do that task that we're supposed to do right now, it's difficult, it requires effort, it might even be unpleasant. And if it feels like you're making a sacrifice right now, but you can't feel as though you're also going to benefit from it in the future, then it's going to be harder for you to get going. What this means then is that one cure for procrastination is to get better at visualizing and owning the life of the future you. And that involves creating more space in your life for creativity and then putting that creativity to good use. So I'm going to give you 3 steps that I use and help my clients use to do just that, to help your present self get to know your future self better so that you can march forward together toward a future that you'll both be happy with. Nowadays, we're all so busy that it can be difficult to find time to relax. And then when we do, many of us are glued to our phones or TV or the computer. And those things aren't bad necessarily, but when we're just consuming content, it's like we're sponges, taking in these facts and opinions and messages and visions and words and images. All of these things coming from outside of ourselves in rapid fire. It's a bunch of noise that can turn you into just a receiver instead of the combination transmitter-receiver that you really are. It's kind of like in a forest, the tall trees filtering out the sunlight way up high in the canopy so that very little gets down to the little sprouts that are trying to grow down on the forest floor. So first of all, you need to clear away a path to sunlight so that your little seeds of creativity can sprout and thoughts and ideas and visions of your future can emerge from within you. So carve out some time to really unplug and get away from screens and just give yourself time to be alone with your own thoughts and feelings and ideas on a regular basis. Like literally go put it in your calendar and set it up as a recurring appointment with yourself. Schedule at least 30 minutes with yourself, ideally every day, but if not, then at least 2 or 3 times a week. So once you've made room in your life for creativity, then start using and practicing it. Now I say practicing it because, look, not everyone is a fountain of genius level creativity like Leonardo da Vinci, but we all have some level of innate creativity that we can nurture and develop just like any other skill or muscle. Where does your creativity naturally lie? How do you like writing? Do you like drawing more or playing music? If you aren't doing much nowadays that's really creative, that's okay. And that's kind of the point. You know, if that's the case, think back to your childhood and recall what creative things you liked doing back then. Whether it was playing with Legos or looking up in the clouds and seeing if you could find faces or animals in them. And then use some of the time that you've carved out in your schedule for creativity to just write or draw or look up at the clouds just for the heck of it. Then other times, use that creative space in your calendar to imagine your story from where you are to making the effort you need to make to arriving at the future you'd like to have as your future you. So write or draw about it, or sing a song about it if that's your thing, or tell a story about it, even if no one else is around to listen. Or daydream about it, practicing imagining bringing that timeline to life as vividly as possible. Remember, your goal here is to create a strong sense of continuity between the life you're living now and the vision for your life after you've taken care of the tasks that you've been putting off. Now, regardless of whether you're more visual or verbal or whatever, I recommend that everyone do a vision board. So to do this, get a piece of cardboard from a box or a piece of poster board and gather some old magazines and glue, and then give yourself a chunk of quiet time to reflect and create a collage that represents the life you're heading for. So your words and images in the collage can represent things that you'd like to have, or qualities or values that you treasure, or relationships that are important to you. Now, some people like to have different sections of their board for different parts of their life, whereas other people's boards are much more abstract. Just really settle into it and see what comes up for you, because there's no right or wrong here. And in fact, doing a vision board can be a great way of practicing turning down the volume on that internal editor that's often so quick to stomp on our dreams. And instead, you can come out of this process with something tangible that represents a collaboration between your present self and your future self. When you're done, if you're comfortable sharing it, you can spend a few minutes walking a friend through it, and talking it through out loud can help make it feel more concrete for you as well. Definitely keep it visible so that you're seeing it every day. And continue making space in your life for future-oriented creativity so that the vision of your future has the space to emerge and evolve and grab your interest and inspire you to keep taking action right now. I hope this video served you. If you liked it, please follow me on social media so we can stay in touch. And also, if you'd like to explore working with me one-on-one as your personal development coach, so that you're not just moving out of procrastination, but moving into a life where you're jumping out of bed in the morning, feeling naturally enthusiastic and energetic, then head on over to jimyort.com/book, and you can schedule a free consultation with me and get a taste for what that might be like. I'll look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, all the best to you.